Hey, my name is Katie Chowdhury. I'm a former teacher and now I'm a stay-at-home mom, putting into perspective everything that I used in my classroom into my home life as a mom with my son, as I run my business from home and work on my certifications for being a personal trainer. So I'm kind of combining the best of both worlds, fitness and education. So today I'm thinking about it as Memorial Day is upon us. We're getting really close to the end of yet another school year. And as a teacher, it was a bittersweet moment because, of course, 9 times out of 10 you missed your class in the summer because you've been with them for 9 months and you've lived and grown together for 9 months, and it's always sad to see your students go. But at the same time, it's a welcome relief. Now that I look at it as a parent, my son is only 2, Anthony's 2, and he's still home with me, but I can see it from a different perspective as to what do I do with my child in order to prepare them best for the upcoming school year without a relapse happening over the 3 months. And I will tell you that as a teacher, when we would do our fall assessment, spring assessment, and then the following fall assessment, most students would relapse a bit between their spring score of the previous year and then their fall score of the present year, simply because they had 3 months off and oftentimes weren't doing as much, if any, educational schoolwork than they had been doing during the school year. So I'm going to give you 5 tips today that will help you to help your child to lessen that degree of falling behind over the summer months. The first thing that I suggest that you do is make sure that you contact your child's current teacher as well as your child's teacher that they're going to have next year in the school year. Even if you don't know who it is for next year, just touch base with your current teacher, and maybe they can put you in connection with one of the teachers on the following grade level's grade, just so you can get an idea. Oftentimes the teacher can tell you, what books are going to be read or what topics will be covered in the following year. And your student's current teacher is a huge resource for you, because they have seen your student. They've been with your child for 9 months, and besides the report card, they can really tell you where the small pieces might be. So let's say that they're getting a passing grade in reading, but they really need to work on their fluency. Then they might explain to you that and tell you what areas they can work on and what things you can do at home that will help your child increase his fluency numbers. That's one thing. If you don't have the ability to do that, then another thing, which you can do anyway, I would suggest, is checking out what your school's curriculum is. So curriculum meaning, the 5 core subject areas: reading, writing, math, social studies, and science. What curriculum do they use? Does your school use a Basel book, like a Houghton Mifflin, for their reading curriculum? They have websites, so you can go to HoughtonMifflin.com and see what they're doing in reading for grade 2 to kind of see what they're covering, what the stories are, etc. If they don't, if you go on your school district's website, they should have a curriculum button, and it should show you at least the area of what they're looking at. Because sometimes, like in math, you use Everyday Math or TIMS Math, TIMMS, and they are not similar to your basic Scott Forsman or Houghton Mifflin math. It's totally different. So going to those curriculum websites will help you to get a better understanding, or just being able to YouTube or Google teachers that have put tips online that have to do with your curriculum are very helpful. Another thing to do is to set goals with your child. So maybe, if you're every weekend, let's just say that you work Monday through Friday, if they hit their goal for the week, then on the weekend they get to pick one thing, that they want to do. Let's say that they want to go to Navy Pier down at the lake. If for the 5 days they get a sticker, say every time that they read a book, and then they take actually check out couple of my previous videos, the 5-finger test, the who, the what, the when, the where, the why, and then sometimes the how. If they can pass that with you, when you get home at night, they've read, I'll use 3 Little Pigs again. They've read the 3 Little Pigs, and if you can sit with them and do those, do the 5-finger test with them, and they do very well, they get a sticker for the week. And say after 5 stickers, they get the reward on the weekend, whether it's going to the museum, Navy Pier, whatever it is. Those would be really helpful for you. Another thing, my fourth tip would be educational games. Anything in technology. Our children now that are growing up are called digital natives, and digital natives simply means that they have been brought up from the moment of birth pretty much with technology. So whether or not you are for it or against it, you're probably for it since you're watching this on YouTube, but whether or not you're for it or against it, it's the way of the world, and there are a ton of awesome, good educational resources out there for ed tech that you don't have to look at it as simply a negative. As a teacher in the classroom, I love technology, and I was fortunate enough that the district that I worked in was all for technology in the classroom. So check out iPhone. I have an app. I have a blog post on that too of apps that are really good in the classroom. There are so many websites out there, blogs that teachers have put out there with ones that they recommend for different grade levels. Find it. There's so much information out there for you. Or email me and I'd be happy to get you more information. And my fifth tip for you is to simply spend time with your children. Spend time with them because they need to be around people that are speaking. They need to be reading with others. They need to be doing puzzles. They need to be doing games. Play games with them. Board games are fantastic, and there are so many good ones on the market now. If you go to Barnes & Nobles or Borders, you're going to find a ton of thinking games that are fun. And if you can interact with your children like that, it just keeps the brain moving. Don't put a workbook in front of them and make them do math facts for a whole hour because that's boring. But if you can find a game like Yahtzee or Bunko where you have to count, my gosh, you are putting math into action. Or card games where they have to count their hand. There are so many ways for you to put education in front of them every day, even if it is for an hour. If you're a working parent and you only have an hour at night, those are things that are going to help them to really work over the 3 months to not have that relapse, or at least to not have as much of a relapse as what typically happens. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. Put a comment on the bottom here, or send me an email, or connect to me through my blog. I'd love for you to leave a comment on the bottom here and let me know what you really thought about the video, and I hope that you found it helpful. Have a great day.